For more hours than I will admit to over the past 2 months, I've been watching a live stream of a pair of bald eagles who build a nest at the Norfolk Botanical Gardens in Virginia. There was a camera focused on the nest, and it made it possible for people all over the world to watch on their computers as a female laid 3 eggs and hatched out 3 fluffy white little eaglets 5 weeks ago. Every day, the pair of eagles fished in nearby Chesapeake Bay, and then they brought their catches home to feed their babies. There was something almost hypnotic about watching the tree and the nest swaying in the wind while these birds went about the daily routine of caring for their little ones. I will admit I was addicted to the unusual opportunity to share in a scenario that most of us never get to see, but I was certainly not the only one. My daughter split the screen on her computer monitor at work so she could do her job and watch the eagles at the same time and hopefully not get fired. There was a moderated discussion on the site also, and I read there one morning that over 200,000 people had visited before noon on that given day. This past Wednesday, the pair of eagles were fishing for food for their babies when the female was hit and killed by a jet going into the airport at Norfolk. The father just barely managed to maneuver himself out of the jet's way, but the mother was less agile because she was weighted down with a fish that she was taking home to her little ones. I was devastated. It wasn't quite as bad as the meltdown I had when Barbaro died, but I can't begin to tell you how much sadness and loss I felt. I wasn't alone. There's a website where you can light a memorial candle for anyone you want to remember. Someone lit one for the mother eagle and posted a link to the site. Within just 3 hours, there were candles lit by thousands of people in all 50 United States and 23 foreign countries. Although the father eagle continued to fish and feed the babies, they had to be removed from the nest because it wasn't possible for one eagle alone to catch enough to maintain himself and 3 rapidly growing babies. A tree service donated the necessary equipment to reach the little ones, and they were taken to the Wildlife Center in Virginia, in Waynesboro. There they will be raised and released into the wild when they are old enough to fend for themselves. Within hours of the babies arriving at the Wildlife Center, thousands of dollars were donated to pay for their care, almost $5,000. Money has been donated to the Botanical Garden for a memorial to the mother eagle, who had been coming there to nest for almost 15 years, and to pay for future live streams on the nest. And a study is slated to see if there is anything that can be done to help ensure the safety of the birds in the future. My point in telling you this story is not that there was anything special or different about this pair of eagles, because there wasn't. They were not aware that the world was watching them, and they certainly weren't aware of the fact that they had captured the hearts and imaginations of people everywhere. They had people in 23 countries united in their grief over a tragic accident and ignoring differences in religion and politics. Yet they were just ordinary birds doing what birds do, nothing more and nothing less. I think we can all learn something about our own lives from this family of birds. Most of us judge ourselves much too harshly and severely underestimate the range of our influence for good. We think we're nobody special. We look at people who have made more money, achieved fame, contributed more to charitable causes, got more education, whatever, and we tell ourselves that we need to be more like that before our lives would matter very much. Think just a minute right now about the people who have been a major influence in your life. Who were they? Were they wealthy, great scholars, famous, noted philanthropists? I'm betting you answered no to all those questions. For most of us, the people who influence us most are the ones who love us most. The people who made me what I am were my mother and an aunt and uncle. Very ordinary people who sacrificed their own welfare to further mine. People who did what they had to do and loved me while they were doing it, without any fanfare or thoughts of recognition, just like the eagles. I've had teachers who made a lifelong impression on my thinking, but they never saw themselves as anything but ordinary people. I've been blessed with such a wide variety of friends, each with their own special gifts, who have all given me something that I can give to other people. Our lives are like the proverbial stone that makes ripples in a pond. We see only the immediate results and consequences of our actions, but not the full range of ripples that our existence makes. My mother died almost 50 years ago, but there is rarely a day that her teaching doesn't influence some decision that I make. If she could have known that while she was here, I would surely think it would have changed the way she saw herself. All of this applies to us as a congregation, too. We are painfully small, we don't have any money, and the sad truth is that we don't have any future either. So are we important? Is there any good reason for us to be here? Yes, there is. In spite of our size and the poor prognosis for our survival, we are the Jewish voice in this community, and that voice is still being heard. We need to remember that everyone we meet in our ordinary, everyday lives will be formulating opinions about Jews based on what they see in us. If that isn't important, what is? Most of us here have children and grandchildren whose lives were shaped by ours. Our values will live on in them when we're gone. Isn't that important? We need to be like the eagles and just live our lives the way they should be lived without thinking or worrying about the range of our influence and our contributions. We're all here for a reason, and if we live the reason, that's enough. Let's leave the judging to others and just enjoy being who and what we are.